issue a number of years ago where everybody had to stop venting refrigerant into the atmosphere? Well, guess what? We fixed it. Ozone is a naturally occurring gas that filters the sun's ultraviolet rays. Increased ultraviolet rays can cause skin cancer, cataracts, weakened immune systems, reduced crop yield, and disruption in the marine food chain. Since the Montreal Protocol in 1987, the ozone hole has been getting smaller. Some scientists are fearful that it will close completely, causing other problems. So now that we've fixed the ozone hole, the thing that we're worried about is climate change, which has caused regional weather changes, and global warming, which has increased the temperatures worldwide. This past summer was one of the hottest summers on record in most of the regions of the world. So now we're worried about the global warming potential of refrigerants. The global warming potential has to do with the greenhouse gases. As the radiant heat from the sun comes to the earth, a lot of it bounces off the earth and back out into the atmosphere. Some of these radiating heat rays bounce back towards the earth, and the greenhouse gases are responsible for this to keep some of the heat from the sun in the earth's atmosphere. But there's also some of the rays that escape out into space. So the greenhouse gases are important as we want to retain some of the heat that comes from the sun. And so maintaining greenhouse gases in the atmosphere is very important. Carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas that has been a driver of the world's climate for millions of years. Greenhouse gas absorbs heat radiated upward from the Earth and holds the heat at lower atmospheres. Natural sources of carbon dioxide are volcanoes, the breath of animals, and plant decay. The burning of fossil fuels since the 1800s has been on the rise. Carbon dioxide concentrations in 1750 were 280 parts per million. In 2021, the concentrations were 415 parts per million. So the global warming potential of carbon dioxide is 1. The GWP is the measure of how much infrared thermal radiation a greenhouse gas added to the atmosphere would absorb over a given time frame, as a multiple of the radiation that would be absorbed by the same mass of added carbon dioxide. For other gases, it depends on how strongly the gas absorbs infrared thermal radiation and how quickly the gas leaves the atmosphere and the time frame being considered. Methane gas has a GWP number of 81.2. Therefore, a 1-ton leak of methane is equivalent to emitting 81.2 tons of CO2. In January 1st of 2025, R410A will no longer be allowed in new equipment. Equipment manufacturers will be required to use refrigerant with a GWP lower than 700 GWP. So you notice from the chart that R410A has a GWP rating of 2090. R454B, or Pure Advanced, has a global warming potential of 466. R410A was a short-term solution anticipating the changes in 2025, and with a higher GWP of over 2,000, it will not meet the criteria of the regulations coming in 2025. R32 was also a short-term solution and will begin phase-out in 2029 with a GWP rating of 675. R454B, or Pure Advanced, will be compliant until at least 2034 with a GWP rating of 466. R454B has lower discharge temperatures, which means fewer design changes are necessary for compressors and fewer design changes for higher ambient temperatures. Lower discharge temperatures are also associated with longer reliability of the compressor. R54B is also a near azeotrope mixture, and so there is little to no glide. So instead of having to recover the entire charge, R454B can be topped off. There are organizations that have already started doing the new refrigerant training and providing certification for the new refrigerant handling. If you have an EPA Section 608 refrigerant handler's card, you will not have to do anything to renew that EPA certification, as it will qualify for the new refrigerant. It's unsure as to what type of requirements major manufacturers will make, but it's certain that they will require some type of training before installing and working on equipment with R454B. Many of your manufacturers already have tools that are compatible with R454B or A2L refrigerants, such as your vacuum pumps, your leak detectors, and your manifold gauge sets. There are more A2L compatible tools that are in development. New equipment containing R54B or an A2L refrigerant will start hitting the market in late 2024 and definitely in 2025. Check with your local distributor, as training on the new refrigerant and the new equipment that will be available in late 2024. Also, check out the new tools that you will be required to have to work on the units with new refrigerant. Don't procrastinate. Be ready for the change.
Go to Airefco.com for more videos. Like, subscribe, and check back every week for new videos.